Ssebunya Mark, alias Mr. Strategy, contesting for the office of 89th Guild President, Makerere University. Yes, you have heard from him the number of issues that he has raised, and because of time, he might not be able to avail all the issues. So probably you might have an issue that is a little private and you cannot share it on air. You can also send us a message and tell us, okay, we would like Mr. Ssebunya to pass by this hall. We have some issues that we would like to share with him as a whole. Given the fact that as Guild President, you would be in charge of everything, overseeing everything around Makerere University, putting the halls into consideration. So we have some issues that have been sent to us here, and someone said they would like Mr. Ssebunya to talk about the issue of the online elections that are going to be happening. Yes, talking about the pros or the cons, the disadvantages, and understanding the fact that not every student uses a smartphone, given the fact that anyone might assume as a student of Makerere University they have to own a smartphone and also use it. So for those that cannot access a smartphone, what's the way forward? What's the way forward? So the issue of online elections, I will just read the issues out, and then Mr. Ssebunya Mark will be addressing one by one according to the way he might well have understood it, or he might best want to respond to it. So, one, the issue of online elections. Then two, someone sent a question. This actually came in during the Twitter space that was happening at by the Makerere University Electoral Commission that happened this evening. So this one, the question was, this was the message actually that I would like Mr. Ssebunya Mark to address as well on air on Light FM. Apparently, during that space, there was not ample time to address it. But now we have all the time, so you can address it better. This message was like, good evening, colleagues. I am Omujugu. Yes, I am Omujugu Moses from the School of Law. I would wish to hear a candidate comment and strategy on the high cost of education and quality in Uganda. Probably this is as regards to the students at Makerere University. So one, online elections. Two, comment and strategize about the high cost of education and quality in Uganda. Then three, someone had sent in an issue of concern earlier for Mr. Ssebunya Mark to speak about the suspended aspirants, but apparently he might have hinted on that. Maybe he could have left out something, and he would want to also talk about it even in this other time that we are going to give him. And then someone sent in a concern about the whole allowances. Yes, the whole allowances. They would like you to talk about it. Probably a student out there is not satisfied with the way maybe the whole allowance is handled, probably the time it comes in, or how much is given, or the percentage it is given to the students. Maybe, yes, they just said, talk about the whole allowance. Probably they're not well satisfied about that. And then, okay. Now, this is a message that someone put on their status. This is one of our student Makerere University, and they say, today morning, a friend texted me to tell me of how I should not let any opportunity to make money pass her by. Jokingly, I asked her if she's open to men with money touching her thighs. She openly told me that she's left with no option. Apparently, when you receive a message like that, you get to see how a student has been pressed to the wall. Their mind has just been open to anything as long as they are getting money. Probably this is a student of Makerere University, and the message further goes, and they say the government sponsorship allowance that she receives are in phases of 33.3%. Oh, sorry, actually for her, the parents expect her to use that allowance. So apparently the parents are not sending in anything because the university has promised the parents that they are handling that student very well. They are taking care of their child very well. Yes. So that kind of picture, those are some of the issues that have so far come in. And yes, to you that are listening, if you have any other issue of concern, you can send it in as Ssebunya Mark, Mr. Strategy, is addressing the issues that have so far come in for now. So, Mr. Ssebunya Mark, the microphone gets back to you. Please go ahead and expound on these issues on how best you could solve them when you are elected into office as 89th Guild President of Makerere University.
Thank you, Mr. Moderator. To begin with the last point, that was about frustration and the other message that came in about the student. It was kind of a status that today morning a friend texted me to tell me of how I should not let any opportunity to make money pass by. Shockingly, I asked her if she's open to men with money touching her thighs. She openly told me that she's left with no option. The government sponsorship allowances that she alas breathed in purchase of 33.3%. Oh, sorry. Actually, for her, the parents expect her to use that allowance for maybe for her stay. In that regard, I'm seeing how disgruntled, how stressed, how frustrated students of Makerere University are. Imagine a parent having a daughter studying in an image. Your daughter studies at Makerere University, but your daughter is a daughter who waits for these guys, the so-called rich guys, to touch her thighs because of money. Parents, who among us, even us, the future parents, the aspiring parents to be, who among us will be happy to see his or her daughter selling his or her property, maybe the body parts, because of money? Oh, none, I believe. So let's avoid using people because of money. Because when we decide to sell our freedoms, because politics is not an exchange. Politics is not an exchange of opportunities. We don't need to sell our freedoms because we are earning something, a token in our pockets. Let's stand on truth, because when you stand on truth, truth shall reveal you. This I'm meaning 33.33 extra. Like they said, 333 infinity % is a less amount of money to a government student who stays in a hall of residence. Just imagine, even in Chikumi or elsewhere, where they sell cheap food, and when we try to abide with cheap stuff, even the consequences are more expensive than the way we can imagine. Because easy come, easy go, as we know. Parents, even if you have a son or daughter at Makerere University, he or she might be a government-sponsored student sleeping in the halls of residence. Parents, I'm telling you this out of experience. I've been in the halls of residence. I've been prior to my coming to Makerere University. I was in boarding section. I know what really happens there. The reason why maybe culture and the reason why we try to adopt to these bad behaviors, the so-called moral decay, nasty cultures like homosexuality, like prostitution, and all forms of nasty actions regard to what the society believes in. Like every society is against homosexuality. Every society, apart from the lame in mind, every society is against prostitution and such stuff. So in this I'm saying, parents, even if you own a son or daughter at Makerere University, he or she might be a government student, but try to own up your role. Because we are seeing that these guys, they are less concerned. Because these are not their daughters. Their daughters are studying from Harvard. They are studying from Oxford. They are studying elsewhere, not here at Makerere University. So they are trying to belittle the image of Mackay University because they have nothing to lose. Them, they are looking after their own selfish gains. Parents, let's think critically. In the beginning, I was mentioning a point of vocationalization and promoting a three-round education that is progressive, transformative, again that provides vocational skills to every student. I was straight to that. In a way that we can't keep on adding books on books and books of things that we can't even put in practice theoretically. Parents, from that point of frustration, and gallant Maclarians of the future exchanging their freedoms because of money, I don't believe in that. Because if I told someone, be it a leader, national politics, a leader who buys your freedom, an exchange of a token, or a grant, or a gift, will never do anything. Because if I told he or she is interested with that power, will be just paying off the debts, the tokens that he exchanged in a winning over that position.
Apparently, that might that be the reason why we are having an increased number of cases concerning sexual harassment. That could be the students are not having enough to take them through a whole semester, so they just give in into any lecturer or anyone on the campus grounds that is granting them anything in exchange for them being touched and harassing them sexually and any other kind of form. So on that assumption that could be explaining that, if you are elected into office, how are you going to best solve that? Aside with the parents, because a parent will send a student to the university with the assurance that the student has gone on government sponsorship. The institution has promised the parent that they are going to well take care of the student or their child with this amount of money given to them. The frustration here of this girl, according to the message that was sent in, frustration they are having is that probably the money is so little that it cannot even help them. Let's first put the blame away from the parent, because maybe the parent also is not able, and they are relying on the shadow message that comes in from the institution, from Makerere University administration, and they're like, okay, we are going to take care of your child. This is what we're going to avail to them, this percentage. So talk about these percentages. Are they enough? If they are not, when you are elected into office, what are you going to do to ensure that they are enough? If the money is coming in late, if you are elected into office, what are you going to do to make sure this money comes in on time?
Okay, as we know that we're living in a state of oppression, personally, I can't believe that even at my time or at my stay, things shall change. It's our responsibility. It's your responsibility. It's my responsibility to become innovative, to become creative. Like I said in the beginning, that when we promote, or we advocate, or we call for an education that is all round, education that provides us with skills, with knowledge, with critical reasoning and questioning reality, we shall transform. I wasn't joking mentioning this, because I know that maybe us, we are coming from different destinies and different journeys of life. Some of us are rich, some of us are humble. We are from humble backgrounds. So it's our role, because even after graduating, we are not going to depend on our parents. Rather, we are going to provide for our parents. Gallant Makererians, let us add a value, like a milestone, to our stay at Makerere University. I'm in Mitchell Hall, 7 Light FM main studios. Because of the innovation, the creativity, and the skills the CEO of Light FM came up with. He's a strategist. When I said I'm a strategist, I was meaning this. We must be creative. We must be innovative. we shouldn't carry the burden only to our parents or to ourselves or to anyone, because it's our role. This is our life. If I told you own, you give the keys of ownership to someone else to own your car, he or she shall just destroy that car. He or she shall not handle that car. In a sense, would have read, because it's yours. Let us have a sense of belonging. Let us be ambitious. I'm saying this because many of other candidates are also having other manifestos. This is my manifesto. Makerere University used to be a center of innovation and research. I saw one time in news that someone here in Makerere University, a fellow student like I, with a black melanin like me, with a brain like mine, came up with an innovation of bottles. Those bottles, the mineral water bottles. It was an innovation of a research student here within Makerere University. So why do we belittle our thinking, our knowledge that we should always depend on our parents? Personally, I'm also a student, but I'm also coordinating other projects. I'm not depending on books alone. Let's be innovative. This is not a blame game of who to blame. It is our life. Because if at all tomorrow I find you with your first class, with your second class, with your whatever class, but again you are maybe there, maybe doing something contrary to what you came for, now we put the blame on you for failing, because there is a proverb, because I'm a believer in the Bible, where they said it may be the blame of maybe it can be a blame of your parents for giving birth to you in a nasty state, but it will be a blame of yourself. Die in that nasty state. I'm done with that point. Then I'm advancing to another point of online elections. It is a serious point. It's a serious point if at all we are concerned statesmen of this land, meaning the land of Makerere University and the land of Uganda, because Makerere is a collection. It's like a market. It's a centerpiece of knowledge where many people, the Sudanese, the Kenyans, etc., the so-called international students, used to converge with us. Land values. If at all we are advancing for online election, everything going virtual, so could we, in this honors, demeaning the value of our common sense, in a way that if at all everything goes virtual, yes, there shall be the pros and the cons. In a way that I can say one of the pros and the cons, the pros can be maybe maybe we are training for robotic leaders where we can't account for who evaluates as won, where we keep seeing the bars increasing. Maybe somebody might be even maybe someone must be hacking the system. I was trying to. Maybe someone in the system might be hacking, defamating the system. So who among us shall be evaluating that? Yes, we believe that they say garbage in, garbage out. But again, haven't we seen the cases where our money have been scammed by those fraudsters? Let's think. Let's not be too objective. Let's question reality. And maybe on the side of the cons, I can say maybe to some students this has been an avenue of even elevating students, maybe from humble backgrounds, who maybe wouldn't have had that capacitative money to aspire for good presidents. Because the advance of online elections, because we are having incentives here at campus like Wi-Fi, although it is limited to some avenues and condominiums, like not to inside every hall of residence that we do have Wi-Fi. But again, we can say that maybe when we adopt to virtual elections, yes, we can have the expenses, budget of our expenses as candidates cut short when we use Wi-Fi. But even the Wi-Fi we would have used, it is limited to some places. Landmark areas. Let's think. Yes, the advancement of this online election is again equipping us with skills. Maybe the skills we like to interact with these computers and our phones, how to reach out, like to communicate to big people using emails. That is not enough. We are not robots that we are going to explain our manifestos, our leadership skills, our talents behind walls, behind these curtains, behind this rocket science. Landmark aliens. It's us heading the future. Online elections cut the costs. They reduce on the numbers of violence within campus, because we used to see such cases of violence. But again, tantamount the victory of real politicians, because politicians should be oratorical in nature. How can I speak via online, via Twitter Spaces, when Twitter Spaces like they have a time frame? Can I express my manifest, digest it to the entire audience via online? Let's imagine. I can go to another point. It's more of a point, it's more of a question, and it's a more of form of an argument. At high costs, and try to read it again. High costs are what?
Okay, so the question was just getting back to the question shortly. Hey, here is the question. Yes, so the person sent in the message and they said, "Good evening, colleagues. I am Omujugujugu Moses." Yes, that is his name, Omujugujugu Moses, from the School of Law. I would wish to hear a candidate comment and strategy. Apparently he meant strategize, or their strategy on the high cost of education and quality in Uganda. Apparently the cost of education, the quality of education delivered within Uganda. Now you can answer this relating it currently to Makerere University if you are elected. Okay? What are those gaps you're seeing within the quality delivered, the quality of education given out? Okay? Apparently, I would see that you have somehow, somewhere hinted on it when you spoke about the skilling part and all that, but probably you could enlighten more on this. That is the quality of education given, and also talk about the high costs. Yes, the high costs of education. Yes.
Okay.
That question came in from one Omujugujugu
Moses. Thank you, Mr. Moderator. Once again, I'm back on air. So, in regard to the high costs, the question sent in by Moses Omujugujugu from the School of Law, where in few years I will be also, a year after next year. The high cost of education, relating it to Makerere University. Us as private students, we pay a lot of money. But on account of what we pay for, it's not worth the quality of services rendered and delivered. They are not worth what we pay for. How can you limit me? Disregard that I, Ssebunya Mark, alias Mr. Strategy, from the school I come from, that I've paid to like academic cohorts internship fees. But again, you limit me that I will do my internship within Central metropolitan areas of Kampala. I paid twice. So even in classroom setting, we see that lecturers are too theoretical. They give us handouts without even some don't even explain. Some just send notes. Some just said tests. You fail. No collection. No argument on that. That's an automatic retake. And Makererians, is this a university or Chambogo High School? I'm sorry to mention that. I'm not demeaning any school, but I'm demeaning the operation of the management of Makerere University. Of recent, I had a chance to share with the quality assurance team from the VC's office where they came to our school and I was there. So they had to get in touch with the leaders who were present. But I was so ashamed to mention this, that it is only in Makerere University where students pay, as private students pay over 2M. But again, the services we receive, they are not balancing with the outcome, in a way that we sit on wooden, broken, crooked chairs. They are joint. We are sitting in a way that that defeats even reasoning, even of a mad person. Meaning this, that if you pass by where I studied from the School of Distance and Lifelong Learning, even if you're a parent or a future parent or an aspiring parent or a pregnant woman, I'm telling you, we are studying in a noisy place. We are studying besides where we are studying from, somebody's parking. So what kind of education are we trying to inquire? We are studying. We are trying to force ourselves to focus on what the lecturer may be stressing out or our fellow students may be discussing. But again, you can see noise, cars are the sirens of the car, they are just shouting for us. So are we concentrating? Assurance team of Makerere University pass by School of Distance and Lifelong Learning, lecture room 11, complex building, and you see whether these are the services we paid for. Talent Makererians, the quality of education, more so the pillar. I can term Makerere University in my own words as the pillar of all academicians, great academicians of life. But if it's in Makerere University that today in news you're having a lot of strikes, I saw doctors, Dr. Ssebunya Mark, really she was the former 87th president. But again, I saw her today in news yearning for one thing: deployment. She's a doctor, but after her maybe finishing up or completing with her course unit, her year of study, is yearning for deployment. How can we study? How can we have such kind of tragedy? We are in tragedy, total mess. We're a student, a doctor, a serious doctor, yet we know that we are advancing. I normally hear the Thailand, His Excellency Yoweri Kaguta Museveni saying that he's promoting scientific education, sciences, etc. But again, today in news, it's on record that today students of Makerere University, headed by one and only Dr. Ssebunya Mark, held a strike, yearning for one thing: deployment. Yet we know that everyone, be it me, be it your mother, be it Professor Nawangwe, be it anyone, the Dean of Students, the outgoing 88th, or else anyone, them all, they need to be in good health terms. I'm trying to wind up in the interest of time. Let us be transparent and let us be responsible. And Makererians, even if it was Professor Barnabas Nawangwe and the entire management team back then in their days, they wouldn't keep quiet to live in a tragedy like this we are living in today. This is a serious mess, a time bomb. And if it's, I can term it like what Napoleon I Bonaparte said, that this is a disease that requires even no treatment, but serious cure from the grain, like from the root cause. And Makererians, I remain Ssebunya Mark alias Mr. Strategy, and I hereby call upon for your support as your 89th good president with a strategic action plan. I'm going to eliminate, I'm going to execute, I'm going to portray the true values of a radical leader and a revolutionary leader and a strategic leader. Thank you all, our beautiful, our Panachas, our Amazonians, Makererians, wherever you're tuning in. A good night.
Okay, apparently that might be too early to say good night, Mr. Strategy, because there's some concerns are still coming in here from the listeners of Light FM Uganda. Meanwhile, as I get to read this concern, please be aware that tomorrow we shall be having a Mitchell Lakes session. That is a combination of persons from Mitchell Hall and the Complex Hall. They will be here tomorrow to talk to you and have a debate on the issues happening around campus and the political scene. So please be aware of that. We shall be having that tomorrow. I will be sharing the names of who the guests are going to be, so you can definitely tune in. And to each and everyone that is listening in, all the Mitchellites and the Complex girls there, and any other hall, Livingston, whatsoever hall that is there, and you're tuned in, we really appreciate that you're tuned into Light FM Uganda. My name is Jose Matt, the urban gospel guy, and the guest we have in studio today is Ssebunya Mark, alias Mr. Strategy, contesting for the post or for the office of the 89th Guild President, Makerere University. So, Ssebunya Mark, we have a concern that came in here by one Surveyor Musa B. Yes, he said, my name is Surveyor Musa B, doing Bachelor of Land Surveying and Geomatics, Year 2, and I would like to ask Honorable, at Makerere, it already has 100 years in existence, and according to your manifesto, you want to bring things which other earlier guild presidents echoed when launching their campaigns, and nothing they have done. So how will you handle them surely with this system at Makerere, where students are taken to be in high school and we have failed to exercise our rights as if the guild cabinet is nonsense at MOOC? How will you address students' problems like delay of government allowances?
Probably, maybe Surveyor Musa B, maybe he has just joined us of recent. But again, I've mentioned most of those points. For example, the delay of government allowances, like government-sponsored students' allowances, echoed out much of those points. Like, I try to highlight more on them previously. Patoli can visit the recorded session on YouTube. Interest of time. Yes.
All right. So, Mr. Surveyor, we shall upload the recorded session, and you can listen to the repeat on our YouTube, that is of Light FM Uganda. And yes, he hinted something about the issue of the government allowances that always come in. So someone mentioned an issue about the missing marks. That is an issue that very many are complaining about, and also very many candidates are speaking about solving that issue. Yeah, but meanwhile, before Honorable Ssebunya Mark, alias Mr. Strategy, hints about the issue of missing marks, just a reminder, Yes, I spoke about this, but just to remind you again, tomorrow, yes, tomorrow we are going to be having a mutual aid session on here on Light FM from 8 p.m. up to 10 p.m. Apparently, at a time like this, you will be listening to some mutual lights and complex girls. Yes, on here on Light FM Uganda, that is the mutual aid session. Yes, and some of the persons that we are going to be having in studio tomorrow, we have Regan. Yes, Regan, we have Levis, we have Tom, and Nora, who is contesting for office of GRC complex. And then we shall be having Ruth, also, who is contesting for the office of Chair Lady complex hall. Yes, so the names once again of the persons that we are going to be having tomorrow on Light FM on here at a time like this, that is from 8 p.m. up to 10 p.m. We shall be having Regan, we shall be having Levis, we shall be having Tom, and Nora, who is contesting for the office of GRC Complex Hall, and also Ruth, who is contesting for the office of a Chair Lady Complex Hall. So that is a mutual aid session that will be happening tomorrow on here on Light FM Uganda. So please keep around and keep in touch. Yes, so getting back in studio today, we are having a guest. That is none other than Honorable Ssebunya Mark, alias Mr. Strategy, contesting for the office of a Guild President, Makerere University. That is the 89th Guild President, to be particular. So someone shared an issue about the missing marks. How are you planning to solve that? And apparently that will be our last one for today. That will be our last one for today. But don't you forget, you can catch the repeat of this session, so you can listen word by word and point by point in your ample time or in your free time. You can catch the repeat on our YouTube channel, that is Light FM Uganda. It will be uploaded right after the show, so you can follow up. Yes, so back to studio, Ssebunya Mark, alias Mr. Strategy. How do you plan to combat the issue of missing marks in the university?
Yes, probably, as we all know, that we are here purposely for a noble cause of academics. And in that sense, I also stand. I say, although I hinted on it in the beginning, but probably some of the listeners would have, maybe they have just joined us of late. I said in the beginning that the main cause, there are two main causes. Others, to my perception, there are two. To others, they might be more. To me, there are two. One probably can be cited on maybe missing out a coursework. Maybe you get below like the average mark of that coursework. Then two can be with maybe tuitions, because for us as private students, we are restricted to enter into like examination rooms without clearing at least 60%. What if what if a student like a private student, cleared at least 59% of maybe 50%, 55%. Why don't we, as management, as parents, also with these students, because we in the advanced, like after COVID or the post-COVID period, many of us, me and some of my comrades who are working students, find hard time like to compensate for the books and again their work, because it's them supporting themselves. So if at all a student can pay at least 50% for private students, 50%, 55%, I think that will be a good financial statement on his account, sit for examinations. If at all the management is discontented with this, management can withhold examination of that candidate. I think that is my view, and that was my perception regard to the cause of missing marks. To a solution, missing marks, Personally, I believe I've been among those battles, like fighting for students' rights to sit for such examinations. Both the state, the Kalamoja, like the ladies and the gentlemen coming from Kalamoja sub-region, they're having that it's called state something, state quota fund from Kalamoja region. I've tried to, I will memorize as we go on. So I had like 4 of my constituents, the students in my constituents, having such cases that they said delayed like in releasing their money, like their financial statements. For these guys, the so-called supervisors, examination supervisors, for them, they don't wait for anything. So you can see such challenges. It is known the student's role to clear off maybe that's financial statement of his or hers, but it might be a role of someone, etc. But in that, as a solution, like as a way forward, I'm saying that the advancement of missing marks to some colleges is intentional to prevent maybe students from maybe aspiring for different posts of leadership within Makerere University. It is so bad. It's belittling our potentials. Because Makerere University is not a university that is in Ireland, but is inspiring and coordinating with other universities. For example, the University of Denmark, and among other universities. This I'm saying, the students play a role. Then, again, demand the role of, for example, you can have maybe a class coordinator who is responsible, like for a timely check on your results. Like, why are we not getting the results? Because the class coordinators have a big say in the entire class than I can say. Because personally I'm one, but the class representative or the class coordinator represents thousands or hundreds of students, meaning that I alone, I cannot work alone, but with others we can overcome. So in that regard, in unity with other class coordinators and with other leaders, we can bring an end, or we can cause an end to the so-called missing mark effect in Makerere University. And I said in the beginning that, like other universities, Makerere University should also adopt the provisional examinations to students in final years. For example, students in final year second semester or final year first semester, give them provisional examinations, not really taking papers every now and then. Because when you retake a paper, you can maybe stay, a course duration can be 3 years, but you can last 4 years, 4 to 5 years, or 6 even, because of retaking. So let us do the right, like what is right to us, right to the class coordinators, and as well right to everyone. Yes, I submit.
Okay, thank you very much, Ssebunya Mark, alias Mr. Strategy. You have all heard from him. Yes, direct from him, words from him, contesting for the office of a guild, 89th Guild President, Makerere University. Yes, I know very many questions out there, very many concerns are being raised by but because of time, we cannot be able to exhaust them all. Meanwhile, you can just keep sending in your questions, and we're going to be having them again on Thursday. We shall be having a number of our guild contestants, which is going to be the very last day for you to hear from them. And yes, ask them those questions, and they will apparently respond to you. That will be on Thursday. But tomorrow, yes, tomorrow, don't you forget, we're going to be having the Mutual Lake session. Yes, tomorrow we're going to be having the Mutual Lake session on here on Light FM Uganda. And the persons that are going to be in studio tomorrow, we shall be having Honorable Sebandeke Regan. We shall be having Honorable Kakudu Levis. We shall be having Zirimenya Tom. Yes, Zirimenya Tom, that is also known as Crucial Cruise. Yes, he will be here, and we will be having Nora from Complex Hall, and we shall be having yes, we shall be having Ruth also. Ruth contesting for Chair Lady Complex Hall as well. So please make it a point to tune in tomorrow on Light FM Uganda and get in touch with them. If you have any questions and you're residing in any of those halls, Mutual or Complex, please make it a point to listen in and send in those questions so they can respond on how they'll better serve you when they are placed into office or elected into office. For now, please remember we had our guest today, that is Ssebunya Mark, alias Mr. Strategy, contesting for the office of a Guild President, Makerere University. Mr. Ssebunya Mark, Honorable Ssebunya Mark, in just 2 minutes, last words and parting words to the audience, and then we shall call it a day.
Okay, as a believer, I would like to sum up by saying God is good. All the time, the Lord is good, and that is His nature. Wow. So, gallant Makererians, when the time is right, decide Ssebunya Mark be your next 89th good president. I will labor, I will serve, I will represent. I won't lead like other charlatans. I won't entertain nonsense. I will execute action, but with reason. Gallant Makererians, thanks for tuning in to Light FM. It has been a nice ambience and a nice evening. May the good Lord bless you. And as well, let us be law-abiding citizens. Let's love each other. Let's be peaceful. Alice does not solve anything without reasoning. We are students, we are one, and this time around we are non-partisan. So vote for who you feel is your right candidate, and I believe Ssebunya Mark, alias Mr. Strategy, is your right candidate this evening from what you have heard. Thank you. A good night.
Right, thank you very much. Thank you very much for coming through, Mr. Ssebunya Mark, alias Mr. Strategy. You have all heard from him, yes, contesting for office of the 89th Guild President, Makerere University. Yes, from what you have heard from him, please make the right choice as you are ticking that ballot paper. Someone posted on their status, one of the students of Makerere University, and this is what they were saying concerning the elections, because apparently first their complaint was like, okay, and Makerere University Guild elections will be held in a few days, and the modulus operandi is strictly online. Yesterday, a friend mentioned to me that he knows of no Guild presidential candidate, and he has seen none, and none has seen him. That is how hard we have reached when things went online. Okay, so if someone never gets to those WhatsApp groups or check their WhatsApp, that means they've not seen anyone, because no one has gotten to them physically. And they said, of course, my friend will vote for a Guild president, probably the one that will have the shortest name on the online ballot slot. So as you are voting, please don't consider the shortest name, but consider consider voting someone that you have listened to. And as Light FM Uganda, we have made or created the avenue so you can be able to listen. You can be able to listen in from each and every Guild president or Guild contestant. Yes, so as you're choosing, please don't consider the shortest name or the name that falls in your clan and you say, let me vote this one. Please vote wisely, because Makerere decides. Whoever you're voting in our office right now and on Friday will determine a lot on what is coming forth for you as a student of Makerere University. I remain Jose Matt, the urban gospel guy, and this is none other than Makerere Decides session. on Light FM Uganda. I come to you each and every Monday, every Wednesday, and every Thursday. But this week, the week has been dedicated to the contestants for Guild Office. But besides this week, I am always here Monday, Wednesday, Thursday, 8 p.m. up to 10 p.m. with a show called The Creative Space. So you can always check in and yes, have fun with me, make it a date with me. Meanwhile, for now, here is a message for you. Please remember to keep around.
Politics, contesting.
Light FM Uganda will be hosting Makere University Guild contestants from 5th to 12th March.
8 to 10 p.m. Would you wish to hear your guild president, GRC, hot chairman, chair lady, and many more? Tune in always to Light FM Uganda and be ready to give them hot questions. We are located in Makere University, Mitchell Hall, Block A, Room A7. Listen to our radio, install Zeno Radio app and search for Light FM Uganda. Or go on Google and search for Light FM Uganda Makere. Contact us via our studio lines 0762 653 648. Or you can also send a voice note on WhatsApp on the same line 0762 653 648. Your happiness, our pleasure.
Okay, so as we were concluding, someone apparently remembered to call, and maybe a question sparked in their mind, or an appreciation to Ssebunya Mark. We don't know what they had in mind. Yes, so if you were the one calling in and you had something to raise, you can go ahead and make the call in the next 2 minutes. Yes, you can go ahead and make the call in the next 2 minutes. Probably Ssebunya Mark, alias Mr. Strategy, will be here to talk to you and respond. Yes, you can go ahead and make the call in the next few minutes.
Politics, contesting.
Light FM Uganda will be hosting Makere University Guild contestants from 5th to 12th March.
8 to 10 p.m. Would you wish to hear your guild president, GRC, hot chairman, chair lady, and many more? Tune in always to Light FM Uganda and be ready to give them hot questions. We are located in Makere University, Mitchell Hall, Block A, Room A7. Listen to our radio, install Zeno Radio app and search for Light FM Uganda. Or go on Google and search for Light FM Uganda Makere. Contact us via our studio lines 0762 653 648. Or you can also send a voice note on WhatsApp on the same line 0762